Have you ever looked in the mirror and quietly wondered if a new haircut could make you feel not just younger but lighter? Not lighter in years, no, but lighter in spirit, more free, more you. Welcome, my beautiful friends, to Grace Over 50, the place where beauty isn't about chasing youth, it's about celebrating the woman you've become. Because here's what we believe: your age is not a limitation. It's a declaration. It's proof that you've lived, loved, and learned, and that you're still evolving every single day. So today, we're not just talking about hairstyles, we're talking about transformation. The kind that starts with a simple cut and echoes into how you carry yourself. These 5 hairstyles weren't chosen just because they're flattering, but because they're freeing. They honor who you are not by hiding the years behind you, but by honoring every chapter you've lived through. So if you've ever felt stuck with a style that no longer reflects your energy, or if you're ready to feel fabulous again, every time you catch a glimpse of yourself, this video is for you. Stay with me, because by the end of this journey, you may just find the one style that doesn't just frame your face but fits your soul. And before we begin, if this space feels like home to you, I'd love for you to like this video, subscribe to Grace Over 50, and share in the comments what haircut made you feel the most like yourself. Now, let's begin, because the next chapter of your beauty might just start with a pair of scissors. Let's begin with a simple truth. At some point, many of us started believing that beauty has an expiration date, that after a certain age, we're supposed to tone it down, blend in, fade quietly into the background. But you and I both know that's not who we are, and that's not what aging is, because aging is a privilege. It's a gift wrapped in every smile line, every strand of silver, every moment we've lived. And beauty, it doesn't vanish, it evolves. And sometimes, it even deepens. So why shouldn't our hair reflect that? Why shouldn't your haircut feel like a celebration of where you are today, not a throwback to who you used to be, and not a compromise out of fear of standing out? That's why this video isn't about chasing trends. It's about rediscovering alignment between your face, your spirit, and your story. Because a haircut, when done right, isn't just about how you look in the mirror. It's about how you feel in your skin. It's the way you smile when your reflection finally feels familiar again, and the way your posture changes when you walk into a room knowing you look exactly like yourself. You deserve that feeling. You've earned that feeling. And today, we're going to explore 5 haircuts that bring it back, or maybe bring it out for the first time. Cuts that lift not just your jawline, but your energy. Cuts that reveal your cheekbones, your eyes, your confidence. Cuts that make you feel like every room you walk into just got a little brighter. And the best part, these styles don't require hours in the bathroom or a salon visit every week. They're practical, approachable, and most of all, personal. Because beauty at this stage in life, it should never feel like a battle. It should feel like coming home. So as we move through these 5 styles, I invite you to imagine yourself, not just with the cut, but with the energy that comes with it. Picture how you would carry yourself, how you would greet the day, how you would show up in your own life again. And if any of these styles speak to you, whisper to you, maybe even call out your name, don't ignore it. Because sometimes all it takes is a fresh perspective, a little courage, and yes, a new haircut to remember that the most radiant version of you has been here all along. Now let's begin. Starting with one of the boldest, most liberating haircuts a woman can choose, not because it's trendy, but because it's true. Ready? Let's talk about the side-swept Pixie. There's something quietly powerful about a woman who chooses to go short, and I'm not talking about trimming an inch or two. I mean really letting go of length, of weight, and sometimes of expectations. The side-swept Pixie isn't just a haircut, it's a statement. A soft but steady whisper that says, I know exactly who I am and I'm not afraid to show up as her. It doesn't shout, it doesn't demand attention, but it holds its ground with quiet confidence. For many women, the Pixie cut is the first time they've ever truly seen their own face again. Without distraction, without hiding, just presence. Let's pause on that for a moment, because presence is something we gain with time. It's the way your eyes hold wisdom, the way your smile holds memory, the way your face, yes, even with a few more lines, tells a richer story now than it ever did at 30. The side-swept Pixie honors that story. It lifts the cheekbones, brings focus to the eyes, and frames your face with intention. No fluff, no excess, just clarity. Now, I know what some people say: short hair isn't feminine. To which I say, have they ever met a woman with a pixie and a bold red lip? Or better yet, a woman with a pixie and a genuine laugh? Femininity doesn't live in length. It lives in how we move, how we speak, how we take up space. And the Pixie, she takes up space beautifully. But let's talk practical for a second. Because beauty without ease isn't sustainable. And here's where the Pixie really shines. This cut is ideal for fine or thinning hair. Why? Because it removes the weight that pulls everything downward and instead adds volume exactly where you need it most, at the crown. It gives your hair lift, structure, and shape without effort. You don't need to fight with a curling iron or spend half an hour blow drying. Most mornings, a little texturizing spray, a quick tousle with your fingers, and you're done. Imagine that. looking polished without even trying. And if you wear glasses, the Pixie loves them. Its clean lines and sculpted silhouette pair beautifully with bold frames, delicate specs, or even a favorite pair of sunglasses. Plus, this style changes with you. You can wear it sleek and smooth for a dinner party, messy and tousled for a weekend brunch, or somewhere in between when you're running errands but still want to feel a little fabulous. Versatility isn't just possible, it's built in. And let's not forget the star of this cut, the side-swept bang. It softens strong jawlines, balances rounder faces, and gently brushes across the forehead in a way that draws attention to your eyes, not your lines. It's like contouring but with movement. No makeup required. So who is this haircut really for? Not just the bold, but the ready. The woman who's tired of spending energy on a hairstyle that won't cooperate. The woman who craves simplicity without sacrificing style. The woman who's ready for people to say, "Wow, you look amazing," even if they can't quite put their finger on why. If that sounds like you, this might be your sign. A few quick tips to make it yours. Ask your stylist for soft graduation at the nape. Longer side-swept bangs in the front. Keep a bit of length at the crown for volume. And if you want to elevate the shape even more, add soft highlights near the top layers. Nothing chunky or bold, just a hint of brightness like sunlight on a breeze. To style it, use a matte paste or lightweight wax. Nothing too shiny or stiff, just enough to bring out the texture and let it move with you. And here's a secret trick: flip your part occasionally. It changes the direction of volume, refreshes the shape, and keeps things from falling flat, literally and emotionally. But most importantly, this haircut reminds you of something deeper, that you're allowed to take up space, that you're not done growing, evolving, or expressing. That sometimes letting go of a few inches of hair can feel like letting go of an old version of yourself and stepping fully into the woman you've become. So let me ask you, what are you still holding on to that's ready to be cut away? Because the side-swept Pixie may be short in length, but it is long on impact. After the boldness of the Pixie, let's take a breath. Because not every transformation needs to be dramatic. Not every haircut needs to whisper rebellion. Sometimes elegance whispers louder than change, and few cuts do that better than the chin-length bob. At first glance, it might seem simple, but don't confuse quiet with boring. This is the kind of haircut that doesn't need to scream, "Look at me." It simply arrives, poised, confident, timeless. The chin-length bob is sleek, clean, and effortlessly refined. It doesn't chase trends, it outlasts them. And it doesn't try too hard because it doesn't need to. Now let's talk about why this cut works so well, especially after 50, 60, and beyond. As we age, the contours of our face naturally soften. The jawline isn't quite as defined. The cheeks become rounder, fuller. And that's not a flaw, it's a shift, a transition. But this cut knows how to honor that shift while subtly bringing back the structure. By stopping right at the chin, or just below, this clean, blunt line gives your face a visual anchor. It frames the jawline with purpose, giving definition without a single drop of makeup. Suddenly, your neck looks longer, your profile looks lifted, and the balance between softness and shape, it returns. It's like architectural elegance on your own face. And here's something else. Have you ever felt like your hair just hangs there? Especially if you've been wearing it shoulder length for years? Chances are, those longer layers are doing the opposite of what you want. Because one of the sneakiest signs of aging hair is thinning at the ends. Even if your roots are still strong, the bottom starts to look wispy, uneven, a little tired. But the chin-length bob, it brings the drama in the best possible way. The ends are clean, sharp, confident, and they instantly make your hair look fuller, thicker, and healthier. It's like giving your hair a second wind, a new beginning. And yes, it's unbelievably easy to style. You don't need 30-minute tutorials or a bathroom full of tools. This cut is a dream for the woman who wants to look put together without spending her whole morning getting put together. You can wear it straight, softly curled under, tucked behind one ear, paired with a bold lip and sunglasses, instant elegance. Even if you've just rolled out of bed and brushed your teeth, it always looks intentional, even when you didn't try. Now here's where it gets exciting. This style is far more adaptable than people realize. Have a square or heart-shaped face? The clean lines soften strong angles, have natural waves or curls. With the right layering, it works beautifully. Wear glasses, this length frames your face without fighting for attention. Don't love fuss, perfect. This haircut works with you, not against you. And just like the Pixie, you can add subtle layers inside, not on the outside where they add weight, but within the cut, where they create softness and movement without sacrificing the bold shape. Think of it like sculpting from the inside out. A few expert tricks. Use a lightweight smoothing cream or serum to keep the surface sleek. Blow dry with a round brush, curling the ends gently inward. Want a bit of volume? Flip your part to the opposite side while drying, then flip it back for instant lift at the crown. And for days when you want a little flair, Tuck one side behind your ear. Add a single statement earring. Suddenly, the whole look transforms in 5 seconds flat. Let's be honest. When's the last time your hair looked styled when you didn't actually style it? That's the gift of this cut. It always feels a step ahead of effort. So if your current hairstyle feels like it's dragging your energy down, or if it takes more time to manage than it's worth, the chin-length bob might just be your turning point. Because a great haircut shouldn't demand your energy. It should give it back to you, and that's what this one does day after day, in boardrooms, in grocery aisles, at dinner with friends, or mornings at home in slippers. This cut adapts to your life. It says quietly but clearly, I'm here and I know exactly who I am. Because sometimes the sharpest statement you can make is a simple, clean line worn with grace. Let's shift for a moment, because not every woman wants to go short, and not every transformation means cutting it all off. There's something undeniably powerful about choosing to keep your length, but I know what you might be thinking. Somewhere along the way, someone whispered, "You're over 50, time to cut it." As if a number on the calendar should decide how long your hair can be, but here's the truth. Long hair still belongs to you at 60, at 70, at any age. Because long hair, when done right, isn't about holding on to youth. It's about holding on to softness, to grace, to movement. The kind that catches the light when you turn your head or brushes gently over your shoulder in the breeze. But there's a secret. Not all long hair is created equal. And if it lacks shape or structure, it can start to weigh you down. Literally and emotionally. So if you want to keep the length but gain the lift, 2 words: layers and curtain bangs. Let's start with the layers. Long layers breathe life into your hair. They remove bulk in all the right places, so your strands don't just hang, they move, they bounce, they flow with you. Suddenly, your hair isn't pulling your face downward. It's lifting it up. It softens the edges, frames your cheekbones, and brings energy back to your expression. Even if your hair is thinning, especially if it is, layers create dimension and volume without sacrificing length. It's like turning down the weight, but turning up the lightness. And then there's the magic touch, curtain bangs. You've seen them everywhere lately, but there's a reason they're timeless. These soft face-framing pieces part gently in the center or just off to the side and sweep across the forehead like silk. They don't cover, they reveal, they draw attention to your eyes, not your lines. They soften high foreheads, balance round faces, and they grow out beautifully. No harsh edges, no awkward stages, just effortless grace day after day. And unlike blunt bangs, which can feel too heavy or high maintenance, curtain bangs feel like air. They move, they adapt, they flatter without shouting. It's like applying a gentle filter to your face, but in real life. So ask yourself this, are you letting your forehead lines tell the story, or are you styling them into softness? That's what these bangs do. They don't hide your age, they redirect the spotlight. They say, look here, at my eyes, my energy, my presence. Now let's talk styling, because you're not signing up for an hour of hot tools every morning. This style thrives on ease. Wash it, air dry it. Let the waves come naturally, or if you want a little polish, a round brush and a 5-minute dry. A few loose curls with a large barrel iron for nights out, and for those in between days, finger comb and go. Curtain bangs can be styled with nothing more than a flick of your wrist, a soft swoop, a tuck behind the ear, a little dry shampoo for texture, and done. Because the less you try, the better it looks. And here's the thing. Long layers and curtain bangs work with you, not against you. Have natural waves, this cut enhances them. Have color or highlights, bangs show them off beautifully. Going gray, the layers catch the light, turning silver into shimmer. This isn't about looking younger, it's about looking alive, vibrant, rooted in who you are but still reaching for who you're becoming. Because long hair doesn't have to mean holding on. It can mean moving forward, flowing freely into your next chapter. Ask yourself, is your haircut lifting you up or holding you down? Because the right cut, it won't weigh you down emotionally either. It'll remind you every time you glance in the mirror that beauty never left you. It's been here all along. Sometimes it just needs a little movement, a little softness, a little reminder that elegance doesn't come with an age limit. So if you're ready for hair that reflects not just your features, but your spirit, long layers and curtain bangs just might be your perfect match. Now let's pivot one last time, because maybe you don't want sleek, maybe you don't want short, maybe you just want to feel free, really free. The kind of freedom you felt when you laughed too loud, danced barefoot, or walked outside without worrying about what anyone thought. That's where the shoulder-length shag comes in. If the pixie is power and the bob is elegance, then the shag is joy. She's breezy, she's effortless, and just a little rebellious. Not loud, but playful. This cut doesn't just style your hair, it lifts your mood. It brings back that bounce, that swing, that subtle flirtation between lightness and edge. But let's be clear, this isn't the shag from the 70s, no feathered disco bangs, no Aquanet flashbacks. This is the modern shag. Soft, layered, intentionally undone, and it just might be the most low-maintenance, high-impact haircut you've ever had. Let's talk about why. First, the length, right at the shoulders. It's long enough to feel feminine, short enough to stay manageable, perfect for flipping, tossing, or tucking behind the ear. Then the layers, they're light, scattered, perfectly imperfect. These layers build natural volume, especially if your hair has started thinning over time. Instead of weighing your face down, they lift it up. Instead of dragging your features, they frame them. The result, a cut that looks like it belongs to you, like it's been with you all along, just waiting to be set free. And yes, the curtain bangs make another appearance here. Of course they do, because they're the bridge between softness and shape. They tie the whole look together. They add movement around the eyes while blending seamlessly into the shag's layers. It's the kind of bang that doesn't demand attention. It just adds presence. So what makes this cut so special? It adapts. You can wear it tousled and wavy on Monday, polished and sleek on Friday, or tied up with a few face-framing pieces on Sunday morning walks. And you don't need to spend 45 minutes styling it. That's the beauty. You don't style this haircut. You live in it. Wash, scrunch, air dry. Done. Add mousse at the roots if you want some extra volume, or a touch of salt spray if you're feeling beaky. Don't want to do anything at all, it still works. Because this cut was designed to look like you woke up fabulous, not like you tried to be. And isn't that the point? At this stage in life, you've earned the right to stop fighting your hair, to stop forcing it into styles that don't reflect who you are. The shag doesn't argue with your hair's texture. It embraces it. It lets your natural waves wave. It gives your straight strands movement. It welcomes the silver, the ash, the warmth, whatever your color is, it becomes part of the dance. And if you wear glasses, even better. This cut frames your face in a way that makes your eyes stand out without competing with your frames. Because this isn't about hiding behind hair. It's about showing up with it. Fully, freely, alive. So who is this cut for? It's for the woman who wants ease without sacrificing style. The woman who wants to feel a little undone but completely put together. The woman who's tired of structure, rules, and blowouts that promise more than they deliver. It's for the woman who wants to smile at her reflection and see joy looking back. And that woman might be you. Because this cut isn't just a style, it's a shift. A reminder that beauty doesn't have to be polished or perfect to be powerful. It just has to be honest. And nothing feels more honest than a haircut that lets you move, breathe, and be. So if you're ready for a change that feels like freedom, the shoulder-length shag is waiting. All it asks is that you're ready to have a little fun again. So now you've seen 5 different haircuts. 5 different ways to show up in the world. 5 ways to say, this is who I am and I'm not hiding her anymore. Because at this stage of life, we're not trying to erase anything. Not the years, not the lines, not the lessons, we're embracing them. And the right haircut isn't about pretending to be younger. It's about expressing the woman you've become and honoring every chapter that brought you here. Each cut we explored today wasn't just about shape or length. It was about energy. The Pixie, bold, effortless, unapologetic. The bobby, clean, sculpted, quietly confident. The layered bob, soft, face-lifting, subtle in its strength. The long layers and curtain bangs, romantic, graceful, full of movement and meaning. And the shag, playful, breezy, completely alive. None of these are about trends. They're about truth. Your truth. Because when you choose a haircut that fits your soul, your reflection begins to feel familiar again. And maybe you start to carry yourself a little taller. Smile a little wider. Maybe you remember what it feels like to feel beautiful without trying so hard. Maybe you start showing up not as who the world expects, but as who you actually are. And isn't that what we're really craving? Not perfection, not approval, but alignment. So, beautiful soul, as you stand on the edge of your next chapter, I invite you to ask yourself, am I still styling for the woman I used to be? Or am I ready to honor the woman I am now? The one who has nothing to prove, nothing to chase, but everything to celebrate. If this video sparked something in you, if even one of these styles whispered to your spirit, don't keep it to yourself. I'd love to know which haircut spoke to you most deeply. Which one feels like the beginning of something new? Share it with us in the comments below. Your story might just be the encouragement someone else needs today. And if this space felt like a conversation you didn't know you needed, I invite you to subscribe to Grace Over 50. This isn't just a beauty channel. It's a place for rebirth, for joy, for rediscovering all the pieces of yourself that time tried to quiet. But you're still here, still blooming, still full of light, and it's never too late to shine in a way that feels honest. Thank you for spending this time with me. You are seen, you are valued, and you, my dear, you are absolutely radiant. Until next time, stay graceful, and never forget your beauty was never meant to fade, only to deepen.